On this week's episode of the Brandtastic Podcast, we have a fantastic guest, Tom from Flock Free Bird Control. We talk about how he got into the bird control industry, what it's like working in families, to what kind of student he was. We cover a lot, and I really think a lot of small business owners and entrepreneurs and anybody who's thinking about starting their own business will get a lot of value out of this podcast. Let's jump into it. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining the Brandtastic Podcast. I have Tom from Flock Free today. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Everything's good. I've been helping Tom with some content for the last year about. And
Yes, we're going good.
And I'm almost a bird expert myself.
There you go. If this doesn't work for you, come work for us.
You know, I'm always amazed. I like talking to entrepreneurs and small business owners because it's always interesting, like, how the hell do people get into certain career moves? And it seems like it's usually by accident or it wasn't their, childhood plan. So tell me your story a little bit.
Sure. So I know it's the same thing because I know a lot of people that do what their dad did. Like, if you're a cop, you're a cop.
Yeah.
So your dad makes pizza, you make pizza.
Right.
My father was an auto mechanic.
Oh, wow.
So when I was a kid, he had me going to work for him at a very young age. I was 15, maybe like 10 years old. I'm going to work during the summers and weekends on Saturdays and things just to keep me out of trouble, I guess. My mom's there. So I did that until I graduated high school. And then I found myself married with a young child. And I was working for my father, working at Sears, replacing mufflers, and working at UPS to get benefits.
Yeah.
So I was working a lot.
Big one. Yeah.
And then one weekend, my wife went out and cleaned a couple houses with a girlfriend. And she made more money cleaning 2 houses than I did all week long.
Isn't that amazing?
Cars.
Yeah.
So a light bulb went off.
Yeah.
And I said, I got to stop doing this because I could do the work, but I wasn't enjoying it, So I put 1,000 flyers in the mailbox.
Oh, wow.
For cleaning houses. There was a housing boom in Piscataway, which was where we lived. And the first thing that happened, my mom said, "You never cleaned a thing in your life. Your room was always filthy dirty. How are you going to clean her out?" I said, "Look, necessity. You got to do what you got to do." So I put 1,000 flyers out, and the first call I got was from the Postmaster General.
Oh, wow.
And he said, "If you put one more flyer, one more mailbox, you're going to be arrested."
Oh, that's federal.
And I was excited that I got a call on this. Oh, geez. But what happened was over the course of 2 or 3 weeks, I got about 20 steady jobs.
Really?
I met people, convinced them to let me clean their house.
It's scary, like not scary, but that could work now.
Yes, it could. It could.
Yeah.
And I think we were getting like $35 for a condo and $50 for a townhouse. And I had a relative that was helping me do them and making more money after those 2 or 3 weeks than I was doing all the 3 jobs combined.
Wow. See, I never knew that.
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
I kept doing the UPS stuff because of the benefits and stuff, and we would clean that. And I didn't know if it was going to be a long-term thing or not, but boy, you get the bug that you can work money for yourself.
Yeah.
The trick is that you have to pay all the taxes and get all that stuff down.
Yeah.
That's a lot of That's where a lot of people get in trouble, and I got a little bit of trouble there too. Because
we all did. Yeah, I certainly did.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was going on, and then I approached a guy that owned the building, and I said, "Hey, can I clean your building?" And he said, "Well, I've got a gentleman that's been with me for years. I don't want to get rid of him, but I also own the adjacent shopping center, and I can't keep it clean. Would you clean the shopping center?"
Oh, wow.
And I'd do anything. I said, "Sure, absolutely." And in that shopping center, there was a quick check.
Right.
So I cleaned the whole parking lot except for the quick check. They used to do it themselves. So I approached the manager, said, "Look, I'm out here anyway 3 times a week. You want me to do it?" "Nah, I got it.
Right.
So one night I was there cleaning. It was freezing, crazy rain, cold. And I knocked on the guy's door. I said, "You want me to clean your parking?" He goes, "Yeah, go ahead and do it." So I started doing that quick check. Did it for about 2 months. And the guy was very happy with what I was doing. And I got an interview with their corporate people.
Oh, wow.
I got 33 quick checks.
Wow.
So now I'm cleaning 33 quick checks during the day, plus doing the townhouses and the condos and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was, I was driving around town, and I never forget, I had a lime green Volkswagen Jetta station wagon. And I had garbage cans in the back and brooms and stuff. And I would go quick check to quick check during the day. And as a car pulled out, I put the garbage can there. I cleaned it.
Yeah.
And I just moved around the park until I was done. And I would meet people in town that I had gone to school with. All right. They would ask me, "Do you need a job? Are you okay? I feel bad you're out of cleaning garbage." I'm thinking, no, I didn't say anything to them what I was doing because mum's the word, I don't want anybody else to do it. So that's how it started. And then
that's unbelievable.
Started doing bigger and bigger parking lots. we started doing the Home Depot parking lot, and it was only about 3 or 4 stores in New Jersey at the time. And it just grew. So I was doing New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, cleaning parking lots, bought a big broom truck, sweeper truck. And you didn't make a lot of money with the sweeping. You know, we clean the parking lots every night, and you made a set fee for that. But it's like cutting grass. You don't make as much money cutting grass because there's a lot of competition, but you do make it in the ancillary things.
Right, I got
So
you.
for us, we started fixing pot. Man, I did not. I learned how to fix potholes, fix curbs. You know, someone set the dumpster on fire, we'd come running and clean it. Snow removal, whatever it was, they'd call Tom. And then one day we got a call about birds. They called me at a store in Colonia, New Jersey, and said, we have birds getting in the store, and we don't know how to keep them out. So either did I, but I went and that's why my partner Paul had just started working for me at that time. And I said, hey, Paulie, I said, go see what's going on. So we went over there, and he put up a net. And it worked. Didn't think anything of it, you know, until the next week. And then got a call the following week. Store someplace else had a bird problem. And another store called it. Next thing you know, we're doing like 3 or 4 bird jobs a month.
Wow.
And it got to be more and more. We're doing bird jobs all over the Northeast and into Maryland and stuff. So I went and visited with corporate in Atlanta. And I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I said, but what I'll do is I'll buy every product from every manufacturer and I'll try it at your store and I'll give you honest feedback. And that's what we did. And then Paul and I started doing that. And we realized that people were doing the same thing that they were doing in the 1950s.
Right.
It really evolved that much.
Yeah.
And then we just started figuring things out and making things and got some patents and worked and made all the mistakes you can make. And then next thing you know, we're flock-free bird control. I gave up the sweeping because the sweeping, the slip and falls were killing us.
Right.
All the lawyers running around. So we would clean a parking lot at 2 o'clock in the morning and someone would fall at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And they would sue the shopping center. They would sue the property.
Then go after everybody.
Sue me.
Same with snow removal.
Same thing. Yeah. So it got to the point where we were doing so well with the bird control, I didn't want to take a chance.
I got you. Yeah, that makes a lot. Yeah, I was wondering why you gave it up. The best thing that you said, in my opinion, was that, and I hear this from a lot of entrepreneurial and small business owners, you just say yes and you figure it out. Yes. Like you have to be that personality. Because I remember when I got into video, I wasn't always a videographer. Somebody asked me if I could do a big job. It was like 4 months from now. And I said, sure.
Yeah.
And I learned videography.
I think you have to have like a glass full brain.
Yeah.
The glass is always full.
Yeah. I figured it out.
There's people that I've tried to do business with, you know, say, hey, look, I'm doing this. Would you like to try that? I'll pay. And they give me 10 reasons why it won't work.
Yeah. I got a question that I like to ask business owners. What kind of student were you?
If I was interested in the subject, very good.
Right.
If I was
overall, like
I was a B student.
Oh, B student. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But it certainly wasn't your thing.
No. Like math, you know, I just couldn't.
Yeah.
I just couldn't pay attention. Yeah, you know how it is with math. If you didn't pay attention at the beginning of the course, you're lost by the end.
Yeah.
But if it was like history, which I love, I was 3 weeks ahead. I read.
You would hyper focus on that.
Yeah. I like science stuff too.
Yeah. That makes sense because you got a little science in the business that you're doing now.
I think that's what happens with kids now. You go to school and they're kind of bored.
Yeah, they're bored.
Yeah. Unless if you have a terrific teacher that makes math exciting somehow.
Yeah. In our generation, there was like a lot of undiagnosed ADHD stuffs and so we didn't have the tools to figure it out.
The one regret I have, I learned as an older fella in my 50s actually, we started making some chemical products. We have a guy in New Jersey who makes all our chemicals. He's a triple PhD, you know, he's a really smart guy. And I hung out with him quite a bit because we were developing a bird spray and a mosquito spray and peppermint spray and all these things. And he would just sit there and look at it was like a chemistry class, not even real. And it was so interesting what you can do with basic chemicals. This guy he actually invented Dawn dishwash detergent.
Yeah.
So he just tells the story behind that, you know, how he invents a chemical that brings the oil out of the ground. And it's just amazing what you can do with basic chemistry. And I look back, I wish I would have paid attention to that stuff because that's really cool, you know?
Well, one thing that I always like talking to you is because I go through this because I do marketing for contractors and different service businesses. At what point did you say, hey, look, I have to get out of the craft of it, of actually going on the jobs and build a business? How long did that take? And what kind of process was that? You know what I mean by that?
Yeah, so I was really lucky because my partner, Paul, He's a real hands-on guy.
Okay.
His background was making cement block and brick.
Okay.
So he worked for his family, and he actually would build these machines that made the block and brick. And if they break, he had to fix them. A crazy business he was in. So he likes to go do stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
He's a Bayonne guy.
He's a Bayonne guy. He likes to do stuff. So
We're built differently.
Yeah, so he would go out there, he would do all this stuff, and I go do it too sometimes, but he was really good at doing it.
Yeah.
I knew how to do it, but he really liked it.
Yeah.
And I started leaning towards the other part because I realized you have to be able to sell stuff too.
Yeah.
So we're a good combination here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm more, I can sit in front of 100 people and talk freely, easily. He'll do it, but he doesn't really like it.
Right. Yeah.
But you give him a complicated netting job up on a lift someplace in New York City, and
challenges.
he's your man.
Yeah. That's
So it works good. Yeah.
Yeah. So and now you have a lot of your family working for you.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
What's that dynamic
Well,
like?
the first thing that happened with Teresa got involved.
Right.
Because again, with the taxes and keeping the things straight, you get your picture.
Yeah.
So Teresa stepped in, and then we had one of my daughters step in, and then Paul's wife jumped in, and then my other daughter jumped in, and before you know it, we got 3 daughters now working for us. Paul's got his nephew working for us. So
oh, really? Yeah.
it's a pretty good family. Our daughter that's not in the office works for one of our contractors. So it's really cool to have people that you love to work with every day.
Yeah, you could trust them a little bit more. They got your back, you know what I mean? And
Unfortunately, they start to tell you what to do, which is all right too. So
that's all right.
Yeah, it's a nice.
You're a good listener, though. I see you, Just. You trust them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. So, you read stuff, and one of the things you read is that if you hire people, let them do the work.
Yeah.
Let them do it.
Right.
If you want to interject a little bit, you interject, but let them do it.
Yeah, let them. Yeah, exactly. Because you'll learn something from them by them doing it differently, too.
And there's more ways of looking at one thing.
Yeah.
So,
did you have any, like, at what point was there, like, an aha moment where, like, we really have something here?
when we go to the Home Depot charity event every year.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So I started going as a sweeper, and then the sweeper, and then we would attend the charity event, and they always had the business meeting at the beginning of the session.
Right.
And they would break down all the different skills. It was the plumbers, the landscapers, whatever. And they used to have pest control listed as one of them. And then one year we were sitting there, and they broke out pest control. It was pest control, and then separate category for bird control.
Okay.
And then, that's because of us.
Right.
And then they have a couple other people doing bird work, but they realized that bird control and pest control were two different things. And that was like, aha, we're doing something right.
Okay, I got
And we really leaned into it even more, so.
Yeah. So a lot of your business is the consulting side of it also.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So you kind of you help pest control companies kind of get in, and other companies, I guess even commercial landscapers probably should jump on board.
Yeah.
And businesses like that that's how for an upsell.
Yeah. So pest control businesses are built by running routes.
Right.
So they run routes. The more routes they make, the more money they make, they sell their business, that kind of thing. Where bird control, it's not as steady a work.
Okay.
Because everybody has rodents. Everybody has mosquitoes. Flies. There's so many things those guys do. And bird control by itself was never considered a reoccurring thing.
Okay.
And then we've made it a reoccurring thing. And now we get to teach pest control guys how to do it. So I thought it was easier for us to teach and grow the business that way through product innovation and teaching than it was to start running people all over the country.
And every business now is on the reoccurring model now. They call it the membership economy because unless you have that reoccurring income, you don't really have a business. Now you have a job.
That's what and that's what bird control was. It was one job to the next, the next.
Yeah.
And it was difficult for pest control guys to pull that off because they don't have the guys just sitting around. And if you give me a netting job to do today, it's going to take me a long time to do because I don't do it all the time.
Right.
Now Paul will do it in his sleep.
Yeah.
So a trained guy can do it, but most pest control companies don't have that.
Right.
So we teach a way of doing it monthly, and it also makes sense because you treat every other pest monthly, and we do the same thing with birds. So it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And it just happened we figured it out. So So it's been going great.
Yeah, that's great. Is there anything that you wish that you started years ago? Whether it's building a team or entering into, because you're in mosquitoes now and things like that, right? So is there anything that you wish that you you started a little bit earlier?
I think looking back, you always think that.
Yeah.
I mean, things happen for.
Right, yeah, sure.
But yeah, I think if we would have, some of the conclusions we've drawn over the last 10 years,
Yeah.
it would have worked 20 years ago too.
Yeah, right.
Be a little further ahead.
Yeah.
But things happen. I don't have any regrets.
Yeah.
Things have to happen the way they happen.
And you guys are pretty good at innovating and trying things. You're certainly not afraid of whether it's robots going around or whatever.
No, we'll do anything.
Yeah.
That's what's been so fun for me.
Yeah.
Is because we get to try different things. Yeah, we actually built cow herding robots for a company called Cargo. So there's actually video on YouTube of a robot flapping its wing. We put like flap
Ominous robot,
and it's
before that was popular.
Exactly. So you hear the robot go, "Get out of here, let's go." It's my voice.
Right.
So it's fun to do that. I think we made about 60 of them and sold them.
Yeah.
So that was one thing we did. So we got into all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And we do have a couple patents.
Oh yeah.
And we have some things. So we've invented some stuff. A lot of the stuff that we do is we just do things differently.
Yeah.
And that's why it works.
Right. Yeah. The bird control industry. I mean, the people who are in it seem like they do things. I go on different websites and it doesn't look like what you do all the time.
Yeah. What's great is my gang and Paul and my daughter. If I come up with an idea, they go, okay, let's see, because some of them work, some of them don't work.
Yeah.
You don't know until you try. So we tried all different kinds of things. And
I think that's why I got into business, is because I was always hate being told no. Like it really infuriated me. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like,
well, that's what's cool. You go knock on a door to get a job. They say no, but the next guy may say yes.
Right.
So it's never a yes. It's always no until you ask.
Right.
So I walk into a room, I always see opportunity.
Yeah, I just mean when like you have an idea, being in a position that you're in, you can try to implement it. Like you don't have a boss telling you no. Right. You can kind of try everything. I think that's what excites me. Like I'm always adding on little things to my business. And I remember working for somebody and like I had a great idea. It was just like automatically dismissed, not even trying it.
And I try to be the same way running a business. So someone
that's
comes
where I was going next.
If someone comes to me and say, I got an idea. What is it? Let's try it.
Yeah.
Because I want to be that guy.
Yeah. No. And that's a quick way. People will, one thing I learned, like what's interesting is when I work for a company, I can't get some of the employees to post on social media, right? But when they quit their job and get a job someplace else where they're happy, they start they're like a rock star.
Yeah.
Posting on social media. But so what I've learned after reading some books about it was that they don't post on social media for your company sometimes because they don't have any ownership. They don't feel like they have any ownership, not financially, but they don't feel like they have the freedom. So they're sometimes afraid. Yeah, so you kind of let them do their thing. They're going to make mistakes. You correct them.
Yeah, and we try to get, we have the 401 and we match. We do insurance. So, even during COVID, we made sure everybody was taken care of.
Yeah.
Right. You give to your employees, they give back, hopefully, so.
Right. Do you think like Flock Free is more of a product or a system?
So it's a good question. It's a little bit of both. Okay. But we definitely have products that we turned into a system.
Right. So the systems are important.
Yeah. So you can we have great products, but you can screw anything up.
Yeah.
But if you give people the right direction and they just follow what we teach them how to do, it always works.
Yeah.
It's people always used to do like static solutions. They put up spikes or something. And they work for sure.
Till you lean against them. They're sharp.
Yeah, sharp. But the thing is, a lot of times, for instance, we're doing work in the Caribbean now. We're teaching folks how to do bird work down there.
That's awesome.
And our first meeting, the guy said, "You know what they call bird work down here, Tom?" I said, "Well, they call bad name work." Because they would do it and get a bad name.
Oh, right.
So now we're teaching a basic principle, with visual, with a consequence, a constant pressure, basic things that nobody else is teaching.
Right.
And all of a sudden it starts to work.
And then all the stuff that you do is harmless to the birds.
Yeah, we don't hurt anything.
Yeah.
We actually have some of the, like the PETA type organizations, they will buy our tank mix product.
Oh, wow. That's big.
Actually give it to a town.
Wow.
So we can train geese to go away without hurting them.
That's great.
But you can teach birds. Yeah.
They don't like anybody.
Well, yeah. And what they do is they round geese up and euthanize them.
Yeah.
In some cases.
Right.
And so if you kill 100 geese in a park and you get rid of those, another geese, they're there because there's water. The next group will come in. So that doesn't solve it.
You ever get attacked by any?
Oh, yeah. I've been chased by geese. I've got hit by a hawk.
Yeah.
I went on a roof to do a survey for seagulls. Their babies up there. And we need an umbrella to dive bomb you.
Yeah, I guess you can't have a bird fear if you're...
No, it's amusing because they're not really, they're just protecting them. You're not trying to hurt them,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What's one of the things you would suggest to somebody who would, sick of the corporate world or 40 years old or beat up a little bit? Because that's happening a lot now. And what would you suggest for somebody like that who thinking about just taking a leap of faith and starting a business?
So if you're a younger person, and at 40 it might be a little different.
Yeah, it is.
What I had like a granddaughter now that's getting ready to go to college.
Right.
So what are you going to college for?
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, they want to go to
$65,000 a year.
Go to college,
but they don't know.
They don't know what they want to do. But a great business, and I've learned this now because when I go do trainings,
right,
pest control companies, I get to sit in before I go up and speak. I get to sit and listen to what they do and how they train their people, and I've actually learned a lot. And it turns out the pest control business is a great business to get into for a younger person.
Yeah.
Because you can, if you want to become a carpenter, there's an apprenticeship that takes a long time.
Sure.
Like be a plumber, you got to learn.
Yeah.
All those, they're great. And that's going to be really good with AI going forward. But you can have a high school education and get hired by a pest control company. They like that you don't know anything.
Right.
Because they can teach you the right way.
Right.
So you can learn and get paid and probably make 6 figures within 2 years.
Oh, wow. Really?
So then
I didn't know that.
They can't keep people. They can't find enough people.
Oh, wow.
People don't know about it.
Yeah. And you're on the move too. And
you get, so that's the thing. It's not just going door to door and doing the work. There's so much possibility. There's a whole corporate world.
And while you're doing that, pay attention to what they're doing with the marketing, how they answer the phones, like all those systems.
And they train you across them.
Right.
They have assistant manager training. They'll train you to be a service manager. They'll train you to be a branch manager.
Right.
They need those people.
Yeah.
But they've got thousands of employees. So if I had a young person that know what they want to do, I would say, try that.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of guys with great careers making money.
Yeah, no.
It's not going away.
No, it's not. Yeah, there's always going to be some road.
A 40-year-old, that's a little bit different. You could still do that.
Yeah.
Because you don't necessarily have to stop at the bottom. If you have some type of skill working in an office, and they still need that too. So
what's good about like the 40-year-olds, by then you're almost, or you are an expert at something.
At something, yes.
At something, so you can kind of, a lot of people work from home. You can start a side hustle.
Sure.
While you had your full-time job. Yeah. And man, that's how I started my first business. I did it while working for somebody. You know what I mean? It was great. But is there any last things you want to say before we end the podcast? Or tell us a little bit how we can reach you if you have bird problems.
Sure. We have a website, www.flockfree.com. We're available 24/7.
They are.
Bird problem, mosquito problem.
Yeah.
We do all kinds of stuff. So it's just, we're having a good time. We love working for people. We love telling the truth and helping people out and having a great time. I appreciate you having me today.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate you. Bye-bye. Awesome.